Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful day with us on Live with Lloyd. I'm your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. On this Wednesday, the 18th of June of 2025. All righty. Okay. Um, Everybody, thank you very much for joining us. This is a very interesting day. First of all, I do want to thank King Simon yesterday. I was on his show last night talking about conscious, some of the things of the back in the day. Some of the things I forgot really triggered a lot of things for me. But anyway, for those of you who tuned in, thank you very, very much. I did, the topic of my show today was open forum, which means I'm going to take your questions, but it really should be about Juneteenth, which is tomorrow, which is now a national holiday. It was established on June the 17th of 2021, a national holiday by President Biden at the time, former President Joe Biden. But anyway, before I get into all that, let me let you know that the show is being brought to you by, let me see, Nicholas Brooklyn, over 50 years in business at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, New York City. They're having a very interesting event this weekend. It's the summer solstice. So for those of you, I encourage you all to come out, be a part of the activities. They're also going to do a marathon, and I'll mention that again at the end of the show. Also, I do want to thank U-Juice. You can purchase at Levitt Store, LIVETSTORE.com. There's the best Caribbean drinks. And I mean, when it's got a chill on it on a summer day like today, it was hot and humid in New York this afternoon. Strange weather, but it was hot this afternoon. This is a perfect day, a perfect drink to have in your hand. Also, Numeralytics with Queen Bee in Numbers Matter. She is excellent at deciphering numbers and breaking it down and whatnot. And in fact, she is making an offer. A summer sale offer of $50 off, which would include your key chart, in-depth write-up, 1-hour video consultation. She's very, very detailed. But if you understand, she's born on the 20th of the month, which is the number 2. 2 is the number of details. They get into the weeds, and that's what she does well. And also, I want to thank my brother King Simon. I was on last night. We was laughing. It's hard not to laugh when King Simon and I on this. We just got that kind of chemistry, he and I. But anyway, but if you want to join the Anatomy of Numerovation, part 1 is this month. Part 2 is next month, July. Part 3 is in August. So go to Patreon exclusively and go to www.patreon.com/King Simon Productions. Okay. Also, Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly, Kimbaley, who does Manifest on Purpose, Astronumerology Revealed, and a couple of other podcasts that she does. And she's also offered a line of her services to the business side of looking at astronumerology. So for those of you who have a budding business or want to go into business but have a more metaphysical look at it, just go forward with success, I suggest you contact her at the bottom of this. Go to Kimbaley.com. That's KIMBALEY.com. Got it that straight. Also, Jazz Aphrodite is establishing a Numerology Mastery Institute in August. So for those of you who would like to be a part of that, please join her or apply at jazzaphrodite.com. You see right there at the bottom of her flyer. All righty. So before I get into this is Wednesday. It is the 18th. I think I got everything right. Please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, I got that out the way. I don't ask for money. I don't DM you. If somebody's DMing you for money, believe me, it's not me. And if anybody says, I heard from Strayhorn and he wants some of my money, it's not me. I just don't do that. Okay. Not that I don't need it, but that's not my approach to how I do. So anyway, the sun is in Gemini, the moon is in Pisces, and it moves into Aries. In fact, what time is it now? Well, whatever time it is, believe it or not, it's 7:07. So in another minute, it will actually be in the sign of Aries. Now you see why an astrologer needs to know. So all, let's say mothers who just gave birth up until 7 o'clock, the moon position of their child is in the sign of Pisces. Any mother giving birth later on this evening into tomorrow and the day after, the moon of their child, boy or girl, will be in the sign of Aries. And this is what is called a void of course. Void of course simply means when the moon is shifting from one sign about to step into the other sign, it's in a state of flux. So most people, like a famous astrologer, Clea Washington, she tries not to do anything when the moon is void of course. Okay, that's not the best time to make decisions, sign contracts, things of that nature. But anyway, it's a 6 universal month, a 9 universal week, a 6 universal day. So those under the signs of Libra and Taurus, bless their souls. Those under the signs are born on the 5th, the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th of the month, bless your soul as well. All right. So anyway, I wanted to talk about, it's going to be an open forum, which means I'm going to take your questions, birthday and stuff like that. But tomorrow is going to be a celebration. It is acknowledging the last area of the country where slaves, so to speak, were given a notice that there was the Emancipation Proclamation. So although they call it Juneteenth, the other day for this is Emancipation Day. And this is now, although when you look at the signs, right? So we picnicking and all that other stuff. Notice how they make all these holidays for celebrations, picnics, enjoying yourself, stuff like that. And so really in the Black community, it was always red, black, and green, but this was the original color of the flag. Okay. And so it is one of the oldest known commemorations known to the abolition of slaves in the United States. Juneteenth, National Independence Day, was signed into law, again, as I said, on June 17th of 1921. But it was actually the emancipation was on June 19th in 1865. Okay, so it is commemorating the end of slavery in New York. Excuse me. The end of slavery in the United States, okay? So it's a referential holiday that combines the word of June and 19th. So anyway, here's what's interesting. There's a breakdown of this flag, okay? There's a lot of symbolism to this flag here. For example, let me see something. Well, before I start, let me say this to you too. Yes, I'm shuffling some notes. I decided to take some notes today. First of all, it's a national holiday. Banks are closed. Post offices are closed. Federal buildings are closed. So it is considered that it was established by law. It was created by an act of Congress and signed into law by former President Joe Biden. It is not easily revoked. Once a law is signed into effect, once established, a federal holiday cannot be easily removed by the president alone, just because he signed it. If he changed his mind, it ain't that simple. So you have to understand all these months of celebrations, whatever it is, just the president by himself cannot do that. All right. It is a paid day off for all federal employees. The federal offices closed. It is a national observance, and it's all state and local recognition. Now, some states, to a greater or lesser degree, don't recognize it in the national sense, but it is recognized in some shape or form. Now, let me tell you about the whole symbolism of the flag, which is very interesting, so you know. So I'll start with the star. Okay, so this is it here. All right, so let's start with the star. Now, the white star in the center of the flag has a dual meaning. For one, it represents Texas, the Lone Star State. It was in Galveston in 1865, where the Union soldiers informed the country's last remaining enslaved people that under the Emancipation Proclamation issued 2 years earlier, they were free. But the flag has also gone beyond Texas, representing the freedom of African Americans in all 50 states. Then the next part of the flag is the burst. Okay, so the burst is an outline around the star as inspired by a nova. Now, nova is a term that astronomers use to mean a new star. So it's a new star within a star, if that makes sense. So on June the 19th, on the Juneteenth flag, this represents a new beginning for the African Americans of Galveston and throughout the entire nation. All right. Then finally, the other part of it is the curve. And the curve extends across the width of the flag. It represents a new horizons, the opportunity and promises that lay ahead for African Americans. And so as a result, when you put it all together, this is what it looks like. Okay. So, and people think it is red, black, and green because basically that is the colors that represent the Black community. But in this particular instance, this was the original flag flown in 1865. Once Juneteenth was, and again, Galveston, Texas, blessed day. So it's interesting when it was established, when the people of Galveston was told the slaves, supposedly, I really don't like that word, but I understand. But the people who were enslaved, that feels better to me. The people who were enslaved in 1865 there in Galveston, that was on June the 19th of 1865. That was a non-universal day, okay, when it was signed into law by former President Joe Biden, not George, Joe Biden. It was on June the 17th of 1921, which adds up to a master number 11 or 1. It was a 1 universal day. Okay, so that's it. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you, so for those of you celebrating, not too much drinking, enjoy yourselves. But in a way, it's a celebration, but yet it has deeper meaning to me as a person of African descent. And all I'm saying is that it is nice to have these celebrations like Martin Luther King's birthday celebrated. Now you got sales. Tomorrow there's going to be sales, 19 sales. And I guess it's nice in that sense, but to keep it in a sense of more the historical meanings behind these holidays, like when I did Cinco de Mayo back in last month, what it really, really means. And also when I do this Juneteenth. So yes, it is a holiday. And in fact, I'm going to be making an appearance at the Source of Knowledge bookstore at 867 Broad Street in Newark, New Jersey tomorrow. I will be there. So for those in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, I'll stop by. I'll, say hi. I'll have a couple of books. I'll do some readings, so it should be fun. But anyway, so let me just, before I do this, get to the readers or viewers rather. So this is it. And notice it said June 19th, 1865. And this was the particular breakdown of that. The star first, and then the new star, which astronomers refer to as a nova. And so I just thought it was interesting. And then the curve, which is the horizon. And then, of course, this is the end result. So when they're flying the Juneteenth flag, this is really what it looks like, emanating the colors of the American flag, which is red, black, and blue in the color scheme, except symbolically, theirs is a star with a new star and a horizon. So anyway, that's it, the 5-pointed star. And it's interesting because 5 is the number of change. 5 denotes activities and opportunities and possibilities and freedom and things of that nature. So let me see. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's interesting. So if you look at the, shall we say, the burst or the nova star, which is the outer rim, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 points. Okay, that's a master number. That denotes visionary, things of that nature. So yes, you did the 5-pointed star of Venus, but the nova star has 11 points on it. So that denotes vision, insight, perception, a futuristic mindset. And I think if we begin to take that and operate as a family, we would do very well. So anyway, if you've got any questions about that, you might have some other things. I don't know. I'm not a historian per se. I just know that came into effect. And this is now what, the 4th year? Because it was only established officially in 2021. So this is year number 4 of the celebration of Juneteenth. So yourselves have a good time, but also keep in mind the whole essence of what it represents, what it means, and what it means for our children, our grandchildren, or our, as people like to say now, our legacy. All righty. So anyway, I'm going to open this up and see what we got. And if you got questions, because Lloyd don't know everything, but I try to be as informed as much as possible. Okay. And so let me go through this. And I want to thank Empress Rel for laying everything out. Hit the like button. Eartha Pierce, she's one of the regulars. Herbs is also one of the regulars. These are nice. These are very, very nice. I really appreciate this. Okay. And Star Jones. And if you got any questions, okay. Quintanella. All right. And Quintanella, I think I am going to do another open session probably in July. Yes. Have another date. Okay. And to Glass Moon 219, Wholeness and Bliss, to everybody, Ashe on that one. Okay. Now, Star 8, I mean, you hear me as Star 8, I'm thinking of my app. But a Star Jones, she is born on February the 4th at 12:30 a.m., which means your sun is sitting in the third house, the house of Gemini that deals with brothers and sisters. That's exactly where it's sitting. Okay. And but what it means is you're an Aquarius and your sun. So in other words, you're an air sign with an air number. And so since 4 rules Aquarius and you're in Aquarius, so you got to understand. Well, there's things that you got to understand. But here's my point. Each number has a natural home around the 12 months. Okay. The number 1's natural home is in August. Well, let me finish her and then I'll explain. Okay. So anyway, it tells me you're in a 6th personal year. Now, one of your major opposition numbers, Sister Jones, is a number 6. So that means this year, and it's not that you got to hide under a rock or anything like that. It just simply means that this is a year that may challenge you in domestic ways, financial ways, health ways, things like that. It don't have to be you. It could be somebody close to you that causes a concern, like a close family member or something like that. It is a good time to go back to school, though, if you can. It's nothing like, now, yes, you'll say, well, listen, Lord, do you see the year I'm born in? Yes, I do. I see that very well. You were born in the year of the 8. But what it means to me is it's never too late to learn. One is never too old to learn something. I'm sorry. And so don't let, and this is only country, I'm telling you, where as a person gets older, they're less respected. Other so-called civilized nations, and this is supposed to be a civilized nation, the older you get, the more revered and respected you do. I think Richard Pryor says you don't live to be old and be no fool. Okay. So there was a joke in it, but there's a lot of wisdom in that too. And there's a lot of things that we can learn from our elders, those that have been before us, so they can pass the torch of knowledge and wisdom and life's experiences so our future can have a better world or a better place for themselves. But it's never too late to learn. It's never too late to grow. And also, I'm looking, when I look at the name, you got some 4s in your name. You got a 7. So it tells me you're young and old at the same time, but you got more youthful numbers. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So out of 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, half your name falls in the youthful category. So yes, you may be old in one sense, but youthful at the same time in terms of your habit disposition. However, your key numbers are always the 4, 1, and 5, and your best days are always on a Sunday and a Monday, followed by a Wednesday. All right, okay. Melanated 8, I hope you showed your Leo husband that show we did on Monday with Chris and his wife Sunshine in Louisiana. They own 300 acres of land there. They got goats and chickens and eggs and everything. I'm going to have them back. Their love story was so fascinating. I forgot to ask them all about their farm. I'm going to have them back around October. Her birthday's in October, and I promise to have them back so we can actually talk about that land they got. But just listening to them and how they blended as a family, I think it was a very good lesson. And the fact that your husband is a Leo, from what you mentioned, I hope he enjoyed it too. Alrighty. So anyway, thank you very much for that. All right. So let's see what we got. Tara Redmond. Hi. Okay. Numeralytics is having a show tomorrow on the celebration of Juneteenth. Okay. She's going to have Mr. Westbrooks on, a numerologist, astronumerologist, and they will be talking about, I guess, the numerical significance of it. But I just wanted to kind of deal with the more historical part that people know, other than just getting out the hot dogs and the, the hamburgers and, the chicken and whatever you're cooking on the grill. That's good. But keeping understanding of why it happened, how it started in the first place. That the brothers and sisters in Galveston, those who were enslaved, were the last to know that there was an emancipation on in 1863, and they got the news on June the 19th of 1865. Okay, so anyway, get that straight. Okay, let's see. I'm back from the. Marla says, I'm back. I'm from back in the day. I met you. I was working in Manhattan. I was about 20 years old. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. That's true. I've been doing this quite a while. All righty. Yeah, thanks very much, Mr. VIP 317. Now, although you're situated, you didn't give, sometimes we pick a number. It's a lot of times it's subconscious. So although he hasn't given me his birthday yet, he just may give it to me. Or maybe he gave it to me before, maybe read him before. I talked to so many people. But when I look at it, it adds up to an 11. So it indicates that Mr. VIP could either be a Leo or an Aquarius, or born on the 2nd to 7th, the 11th to 16th, the 20th, 25th, or 29th of the month. Let's say he wasn't born any of those signs. It tells me, regardless of that, the fact that he chose that number, because it could represent he was born March 17th. Okay, because a lot of times people do that. And let's assume that he was born March 17th, and that's why he put 317 on the end. It tells me he would be a water sign with an earth number, which is very, very nurturing. Because anytime you want to grow anything on God's green earth, you need rich soil. That's his earth number. And those seeds can stay in the ground until there's water. Then it's between that combination of water and earth with the seeds that make things grow. So it tells me, Mr. VIP 317, you would be a nurturing kind of person if this is your birthday that you tag to the end. And if so, that tells me your key numbers will be the 8, 6, and 3. And your best days will be on a Saturday, Thursday, and Friday in that order. Alrighty. Okay. And this is Oracle. I had her on last week. I had a lot of fun. She is that's my girl. That's all. All my guests are so like it's family. It's family. That's all I can say. All right. And this is Khalil Washington, the well-known astrologer. In fact, she's one of the best in the country, but she will be joining me tomorrow at the source of knowledge at 867 Broad Street in Newark, New Jersey, at some point tomorrow. Okay. And Empress Rel, my moderator, always says greeting to the family. And also, she also backs it up at hit that button. Okay, please. Thank you. And here's my buddy here. All right. November 15th. How you doing, man? It's good to see you, Stephen. Okay, so let me see. And also Johnny Johnston. All righty. Thank you. He's been tuning in oftentimes too. And but this is actually for those who have questions. You know what I'm saying? For those of you who do have questions, fine. I try to think of something to talk about. Like, so today was perfect for tomorrow's the holiday, the celebration of brothers and sisters that was enslaved in this country since 1619. And in fact, we arrived here on a ship in late August under the sign of Virgo in the year 1619. Okay. But we were not slaves. Remember, folks, we were enslaved. There's a big difference, right? And it is good that we understand that in that sense. Okay. All right. Anyway, Mariah Harris, 5:15 before getting into Uber or go to a place, it's best to calculate the license plate or the address, um, or how to add is, let me see, or the address of the building in case it's a place you shouldn't be. Well, let me say this. Your numbers, first of all, you're born on the 15th, which is a 6. I was explaining earlier, which I will explain now, that each number has a natural home around the wheel of the zodiac or around the calendar. The number one's natural home first is always in August, then in February, and in a minor way, April. But it's always August. The number two's natural home is in the month of July, sometimes friendly in the month of May. The number three's natural home is always in the months of December and March. Just that simple. The number four's natural home around the months are always in February 1st, like our first caller, February the 4th was her birthday, then August, then in a minor way, June. But those are the natural homes, with February being first for the 4, then August, then June. The number five's natural home is always in the months of June and September. This is the natural home. So if a person is born on September the 15th, they're in a natural home. If a person is born on May 23rd, which puts them late May into the month of June, which is a sign of a Gemini, that is the natural home for them. The number six's natural home is in the months of May and October. That's the natural home. The natural home for the number 7 is always in July 1st, followed by March 2nd. The number 8's natural home is always in the months of January, in a minor way, February, with its exaltation in the month of Libra. These are astrological rules and laws that Kali and I understand. Then the number 5's natural home is always in the months of April, followed by November. Okay. So that's it. So anyway, before getting an Uber, well, let me say this. Your key numbers, by the way, Mariah, are always the 6, 3, and 9. Now your opposition, see, just as important to understand what numbers are. This is why my app came into existence, my Star 8 app. Because if you download this app, ASTAR, the number 8, on your Android or iPhone or Apple Store, it is designed to tell you what your numbers are in green. So your numbers in this case would be the 6, the 3, and the 9 in green. And your major opposition number would be in red, which is a 4. So that is the number that will give you problems. So if you had some challenges back in 2002, 2011, 2020, okay, that would make all the sense in the world, because those years I mentioned, 2002, 2011, 2020, all added to the year of the 4. Now, it was good for Aquarians, maybe, Leos, maybe, Geminis, maybe, but for Tauruses and Librans, and then your number is in its natural home, that could have been a double challenge. But then again, Tauruses, each of the signs are assigned those symbols for a reason. And there's, just as they call the lion the king of the jungle, or I call the Tauruses, the bull, the king of the pastures. For the Aries, I call them the king of the mountains, okay, along with Capricorns, okay. So anyway, such as the symbols. But anyway, your numbers are the 6, 3, and 9, all right, in that order. So let's say, hi, Goldie July. Her birthday's coming up next month on the 18th. And okay, Mr. VIP says he's been seeing 22 every single day, multiple times a day for about 3 weeks. Now I'm seeing 22 and 44 every day for about a week. Now, what does that mean? Well, in my book, my best-selling book, Numbers and You, that's available on Amazon, I have a chapter near the end of the book called Numerology and Thought Reading. And it's designed to answer yes or no questions. And in essence, I'll keep it simple. If the essence of the number you adds up to an even number, in this case, it's a 22. So 2 plus 2 is 4. That's an even number. Even numbers would normally mean no, and odd numbers means yes, okay, as a general rule. However, there's an exception. 4s are always exceptions to the rule. Because it adds up to a 4, it means no is the answer, but there's a possibility it will change to a yes later. That's the only number from 1 to 9 that does that, okay? Also, When he looks at 44, well, that's considered a master number, and that's double 22 because 22 plus 22 is 44. So let's start with the basic of 22. So it says that, again, it would indicate the possibility is no is the answer to the question right now, if that's a concern, but maybe later. Or astrologically, it could represent anyone under the signs of an Aquarius or a Leo or minor way Gemini. But if you're looking at the number 4, it means you could be thinking about a Capricorn or an Aquarius or a Libra or anybody born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month. Okay. Not only that, but it also indicates that because of how you're thinking, it indicates that since there's two twos, which is a master number, 2 is about building relationships. It's about mending fences. It's about bringing people together for a common cause, going in the same directions with the same intentions as you. 44 is considered a very good compound number. In fact, Barack Obama was the 44th president of the United States. And anyway, but that adds up to an 8. So that gives a more business sense, but in the most odd and unusual way that is normally not the case under so-called normal circumstances. But anyway, that's what it is. So if it's a 4 for 22, an Aquarius or Leo, if it's an 8, it means there's possibly a Capricorn, Aquarius, or Libra. Anyway, so I hope that makes sense. Okay. Again, I don't know everything, but I'm just saying. Okay. Okay. This is interesting. Johnny was saying that 5 towns in North Mexico founded by FBA. I don't know kind of what that means. Celebrate June 10th. They were the former slaves from USA, from Oklahoma Tales of Trails, U.S. citizens who were not allowed in the USA, but Mexican citizens. See, the beauty of this Live with Lloyd family, there is so much history among all of us. And the fact of this sharing experience, it makes us more aware. You know, you don't have to be no walking encyclopedia. That's not the point. But walk around with some knowledge that you know what's going on, and the history behind it makes all the difference in the world. Okay. Now, Princess Rel says, please just the information once. You know, I know a lot of people want to get in. I'm going to do as much as I can. On Monday, Jazz Aphrodite is going to be sitting in for me on Monday, and I'll be back to do a show a week from today. So what I'm going to do is just stay a little longer for those who want to. Okay, she says 55 people in this chat with 32 thumbs up. So can the rest of you, which will be 25 of you, can y'all just join the rest of the team, the thumbs up team, and do that, please? Okay, that would be good. And then she says, hit that button. Okay. This is GJ. Oh, whoops. Yes, GJ. They're born on July. Notice the birthday. They're born in the 7th month. They're born on the 25th. 2 plus 5 is 7. And they're born in the year 77. So if I look at that, 1977 is a 6, that's 4, that's 1. If I'm not mistaken, that's 7, 14, 21, 28, 38. That really? Did I do that right? 7 is 5. Okay. And then 1977 adds to 24, which is a 6. So 5 and 6 is, I think it adds up to an 11. But again, I'm doing it off the top of my head. So I'm going to take the low road. Let's say the month, the day, and the year you're born adds up to a 2. It tells me in the 2nd grade symbolically in the school of life, which is learning how to join with others of like-minded vision. It means those who are normally very detailed about what they're doing in this journey. It tells me along this journey, patience, and it's going to be a requirement. Nurturing is going to be a requirement. It will also indicate, and with all those 7s, 7 is a very intuitive and psychic number. And if the month, day, and year is correct in my mind, which is a 2, that's a psychic number, which tells me you need to always follow your first impression. Okay. Because even the name G under the Chaldeans, under the Pythagorean Chaldean system, adds up to a 7. So if I did J, and so GJ, that this handle that you have adds up to a 1, which governs Leo, because 1 governs Leo. So you are blessed with 4 numbers. Your numbers are the 7, 2, 1, and 4 in that order. So you one of those rare on the other side of the scale where the majority of the people only have 3 numbers. You have 4 numbers, okay? So, but this year for you is going to be a year of change. What I did was this. I says July 25th, but instead of adding the year she was born, I substituted by wanting to know what's going on right now. This is the technique that any of you, whatever your milestones was in the past or present, or you want to know the future, all you got to do is take the month and day you're born, add it to the present year, and in your case, it adds up to a 5. So, like, let's say this is the Alpha and Omega, right? Well, the halfway point is here. That's exactly where you are now. You're at the halfway point in your 9-year journey. That's why they call it the turning point cycle, the pivotal cycle. It's where it's like you're on a highway and you exit off and you get to the stop sign or the traffic light, and you got signs going all kind of ways. Well, this is how your year may be. Should I go in this direction? Should I go in that direction? Should I go forward? Should I go back down another exit and exit off, or whatever the case is? So this is about some fundamental changes for you. But at the same time, it brings about a lot of opportunities for you. It brings about an opportunity to also begin to expand your communications, your networking, or also get into any area where you can become multifaceted, multi-talented, multidimensional. However, your key numbers again are the 7, 2, 1, and 4, and your best days are always on a Monday first, followed by a Sunday. Thank you, GJ. I appreciate that. Okay. You're more than welcome. A lot of times we get into, she says, thank you for sharing the history of the flag. These are things to understand. So you'd be surprised. A lot of people says, well, I always thought it was red, black, and green. Yes, during the 60s, 70s, up until now, it was always red, black, and green. But you got to understand that was on June the 19th of 1865, before there was this Black Power movement, this Black consciousness, and other stuff like that. So the next best thing, they formed the flag, but the flag, of course, was in the colors of the United States, which is red, white, and blue. So that makes sense, okay? But to understand symbolically what that flag means and the history behind it, that's very important. Okay, I am the one. I like that. This is the same birthday as Iyanla Vanzant and Tyler Perry and Tavis Smiley and a couple other people of note, but it is your birthday too. I am the one. And so this particular year, you happen to be in a 4 personal year. Now, here's the thing to understand, folks. You know how to find your personal year. You take the month and day, add it to the year you want to know. This is the year of the 9. So when I took this person's birthday, they're in a 4 personal year. What makes it different is this person is born also on the 4. So anytime your personal year number is in alignment with your date of birth, this would be a very significant year. To give an example, at the beginning of the year, I think Beyonce, who is a Virgo 4, and the same thing as you, born on the 13th, 1 plus 3 is 4. She won the most prized thing, I think, a record of the year or something like that. But it didn't surprise me. Her personal year is matching her date of birth, which means things are in alignment. And this is a difference. The only thing about you, though, with this, so when I add your 4 personal year to the 6th calendar month of June, 4 plus 6 is 1. So June is one of your months. So this should be a groundbreaker for you this month of what days are left of it. There are 30 days left. We're in the 18th day. So you got about maybe about more 14, 16 days left. But to take advantage of turning your life around and taking charge of your affairs, okay? And here's the point. Your key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. Your best months are in February, June, which is right now, August, and September. So this should be a very powerful month for you today to do some powerful things. And if you want to know more, I would suggest you download my app, a star 8, ASTAR, the number 8. You can either do it on Android, you can do it on Apple, or go to a star8.com and download it directly from there if you're having any problems. And you'll see that your key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5, but your stress numbers that we don't talk about is the 8, 6, the 6 first, the 8, and the 3. I don't put a lot of emphasis on the stress numbers. We always seem to, this is it. Thank you very much. This is where you go to download the app on your phone, okay? All right. Okay, this person here, this is a astral, okay? I'm currently going through my Saturn return. I'm interested and how this will be affecting based on my birthday. Well, you are September 21st, and you're born at 5:59 a.m. Now, it all depends on what part of the country, because in the horoscope starts on the left at 6 a.m. You were 1 minute off, which means either your sun is sitting in the very first house, but if it's close to like 6 a.m., like past the half 60-second mark, going into almost 6 o'clock, or if not, you to me, if you did your horoscope, your sun is cusping the first house and the 12th house. That's exactly where it would be. But I would say it's probably just under so your it looks like you'll be about 29 degrees, your sun. 27, 29 degrees in the first house, the house of personalities. But nonetheless, again, and I'm looking at your birthday, because on some days this is Virgo, then on some days this is Libra. So if you feel you are a Virgo, your numbers are the 3, 6, and 5. If you feel you're more of a Libra, your numbers would be the 3, 6, and 9. I know that sounds crazy. This is why you need the exact time. So the fact you got the exact time, all you need to give to your astrologer is your exact date of a place of birth, because he's got the information. He's got the month, the day, the year, the time. All he or she needs is the location. And then they can tell you, well, because you could have been born in China, which is 12 hours ahead. You could have been born in Hawaii, which is 6 hours behind. You could have been born in California, which is 6 hours behind. This is why the astrologer needs to know the time you were born, okay? Because there could have been a whole lot of people born on September the 21st in that year, but where were they born at on this planet Earth? And so this is, think of the location, which is why they ask you as your GPS. So when you get in your car and punch in an address, that's what steers you where to go. The satellites above are getting the coordinates, the longitude and the latitude to get you to your destination. Well, the astrology does the same thing. In fact, the GPS, as far as I'm concerned, was based upon the principles of the alignment of the longitude and the latitude and the stars in the heavens. But nonetheless, so it tells me this year is a 3-year for you, which is great, because when I did your birthday, September the 21st, you're in a 3 personal year, and this matches your date of birth. Now, 3 is always the Jupiter cycle. So if you go to an astrologer like a Kalia or other persons I know that deals in the ancient arts of astrology, they will tell you that Jupiter will be strongly aspected in your chart this year, okay? And as a result, this is your year to grow. This is your year to expand. This is your year to really take on some really nice things for yourself, self-improvement, things like that. It's also good for dealing with legal matters, semi-legal matters, avoid scandals and gossips and schemes and stuff like that. Anybody that's gossiping, let them just run their mouths and you mind your business so they don't drag you into it too. But this is also a year to have fun at the same time. And it's like bringing your fruit to market. So it's going to be a good year for you. So again, if you feel you're Virgo, your numbers are the 3, 6, and 5. If you feel you are a Libra, your numbers are the 3, 6, and 9. Okay, thank you. Knowing the time of where you're born is very, very important. Okay, this is a co-prophet, and they're born. Wow, look at the birthday, 6/29/1999. So this person is born on the 29th day of the month. Well, that's it. So if you add 29, 2 plus 9 is 11. I'm keeping it short. I know some of y'all are into the master numbers, but right now my goal is always to keep it simple first, okay? And so this person is born on the 29th, which adds to an 11, which adds to a 2. 2 rules the sign of Cancer, so his birth number is exactly where it should be, which means this person would be naturally at home in this time of the year. But I'm looking at all those 9s, okay? 9 is a very forceful number. And in fact, if you look at the month, the day, and the year, it adds up to a 9. So he's in the 9th grade in the school of life. So that means, so this will be a kind of like a paradox, because the direct opposition number to the number 2 is the number 9. And since their destiny is a 9 and their birth path is a 2, sometimes there will be some kind of like internal conflict. And I don't mean in a bipolar, like you need some medication way. No, I ain't talking about that. But it tells me that nines are very forceful. Twos are normally very, I shouldn't say passive, for lack of a better word, but they're more sensitive about things. They're more kind and considerate. Nines can be pushy. Nines can have a lot of confidence to the point of cockiness and arrogance. I'm not talking about that. And you may exhibit some of those things too. But I just think it's so amazing. And if you look, you're born in the 6th month. If you turn that upside down, that's a 9. So I'm just looking at all those 9s running through your birthday and the 1. 9 is a leadership number, my friend. And that simply means that I don't care how sensitive you are, because 2 rules the sign of Cancer. Cancer is a sensitive sign. You're born in a sensitive number. Whatever you do, you should add a sense of confidence and leadership to what you're doing. That's exactly what you should do. You got too many confident numbers. You got too many assertive numbers. You got too many leadership numbers not to at least make that effort. And what you don't want to do is go down the road of life and mentally kick yourself for not giving yourself a chance. So yes, the Cancer side, that sensitive side is likely to come out. I can understand that. But you got too many assertive numbers backing it up. And it all depends on your level of confidence, your environment growing up, family members, whatever the case is. I would encourage you to go for self, at least give it a try. And who knows, you might work in some positions as a manager, supervisor, director, run your own business, but you'd also do well in areas connected with foods, computers, technology, and consultations. Those would be it too. But your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. And by the way, the 2 is a psychic number, the 6 is a psychic number, and the 7 is a psychic number, which means that if you got into what I do, you probably give me a run for my money. Okay. All righty. Okay. Let's see this person here. Okay. Thank you, Lloyd. Will you have a session on your Star 8 app? I think on the next time when I have that space, that'll be somewhere around about in July. I'll do that. Because if you got some specific questions about them, I have some specific questions about certain things within the app. Okay. It'll be an honor and a pleasure to answer them. Okay. Or maybe I might do an open session on the Star 8 app, how it works. But I will definitely do that in mind. So if any of you also got ideas, please let me know. Now, this is Marla Morabito, and they are born on December. Now, it's interesting. This person, although they're born in 1946, I'm willing to bet you dollar to donuts they don't look like they were born in 46. They don't act like they were born in 46 or whatever. They don't feel like they're born in 1946. Not only that, when I look at the name, I'm seeing a lot of youthful numbers and a lot of maturity numbers at the same time, too. Now, this is the very last day of Sagittarius. Had she been born on the 22nd, the following day, and it all depends. She could have been born at 11:59 p.m., okay? Which would probably make her a Capricorn. Again, this is why knowing the exact time you were born is very important to get that information. But I'm going to assume she's a Sagittarius, so it tells me she would be bright, bubbly, ambitious, talented, creative, imaginative, expressive, a desire to succeed despite the odds, very personable, hard to sneak around because she knows people everywhere she goes, Marla. And then even when I did your name, let's see, that's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that tells me very visionary. You would do well with computers or technology or gadgets and gizmos and things of that nature too. And it tells me one of your parents, since I'm looking at that name, was either a Leo or Aquarius, or born on the 2nd to 7th, the 11th to 16th, the 20th, 25th, or 29th of any month. Okay. But nonetheless, this is your year to fall in love or fall out of love. You may say, Lloyd, did you see the year I'm born in? Love is never ending. It's interesting. I thought as a child that when you're in your 30s and 40s, you don't kiss no more. Man, people just getting started. Okay. So what I'm saying is that this is why youth and wisdom don't go together. It just doesn't. And so I'll say this. I don't know if you're married or whatever the case is, but this is a relationship cycle. And I would let not age say, well, I'm this age, I'm that age, I'm too old for this or that. You're never too old to be loved or to fall in love. Okay. There was a friend that visited me from out of town, and he told me a friend that was 81 years old is getting married for the first time, and you ain't there yet. Okay. So what I'm saying is I should have asked the birthday, okay? Because if he's getting married, he must be going through a 6 cycle, because 6 represents a marital cycle, a divorce cycle, a breakup cycle, a pregnancy cycle, because all these numbers are just symbolic of the conditions around you for that year. That's the environment. But anyway, your numbers are the 3, 6, and 9, okay? This is fun, okay? I hope that helps you, okay? Let's see. Okay, this person is looking to buy a home. They want one by the end of the year. My birthday is 9/10. Well, first of all, you're in a 1 personal year, and you're also born in the year of the 9. So you have a 1 destiny. You're born at 4:38 a.m. So that means your sun is sitting in the first house, the house of Aries, the house of personalities. So that tells me you are very forceful and dynamic. But what it also means, Sean, since you're in a 1 personal year, this is a good time to do that, to take charge. I would suggest, since your key numbers are the 1, 4, and 5, that you preferably try to buy a home whose address adds up to a 1, like 37. 3 plus 7 is 10, which is a 1. Or let's say, or it adds up to a 4, like let's say 49, because 4 plus 9 is 13 and 1 plus 3 is 4. Or a 5, like house number 23. Okay, as long as it adds up to a 1 or a 4 or a 5, but preferably should be a 1. All righty. And it does indicate that since you're in a new beginning, new directions, new attitudes, new everything, this is very possible. So if you want to buy one by the end of the year, I would say, so I'm looking at that. That would probably be between Thanksgiving and the Christmas holidays. That's when I would say. Okay. And especially if so to be in the second week, it'll probably be your best Christmas gift, especially if it's in the second week of December, while you be in a 6 personal week, which deals with home and houses and relationships and whatnot too. But anyway, your numbers are the 1, 4, and 5, okay? And you like older women and younger women at the same time, okay? When you were younger, they were older. When you got older, they got younger, which is none of my business, but I'm just saying, looking at these numbers here. All right. Thank you very much for that. Okay, let's see. And see, Marla told her, she said she's been learning like crazy. This is exactly right. This country gets caught up on the age as if like if you like 21, past 21, you over the hill. You don't get the wisdom being young. You got to go through the highs and lows in life, the bumps and the disappointments and the struggles and the challenges and whatnot. That's what makes us grow. Okay. So for those who feel that life owes them something, life don't owe you squat. Trust me. It's what you make of it for yourself. So for those of you who are in the pity parties, you're going to be in a very lonely space all by yourself. So just shake it off, get it together, you know what I'm saying, and go with, all of you have a reason to be here. And it ain't just to take up space. It's just finding your way. I know, and but the way that it's designed now is almost like, you know, they want everybody to be clones, everybody to think alike. You are an individual. The fact that it took millions of sperm to go after one egg, and you are the end product of that millions of sperm meeting that one egg to produce you, you can't tell me you're not special. So it's what you do with yourself and how you think of yourself that will make all the difference in the world. Some call it confidence, whatever it is. But I'm saying there is none of you who has an excuse not to make something of yourself or be something of yourself. It's just what you got to put there, and that I cannot do for you. Okay. But anyway, I'm glad you're learning, Marla. There's always, listen, there's nothing like learning. Okay. All righty. Let's see what we got here. This is Cheryl Grayer. Oops. Hi, Sherilyn Grayer. They're born on June the 25th, 61. All right. So that makes them a Cancer 7. Now, the natural home for the number 7 is in the sign of Cancer. So her number is exactly where it should be. Okay. As I said earlier, each number has a natural place around the wheel. And you know how they say there's no place like home? You know what I'm saying? You can go anywhere, but once you come back home, your house will be a mess, but it's your home. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. So In this case, it tells me very sophisticated, Sherilyn. You've always been that way, always been very analytical. It tells me from the year you're born, at this time, you should either have your own property or thinking about it or something of that nature. It also indicates you're fiercely independent, always been that way. You were probably a crowd pleaser or a teacher's pet in school, but your key numbers are the 7, the 2, and the 6. And these are the 3 psychic numbers that we have, okay? And those are it. Now, your year, you happen to be in a 4 personal year. What I did is I took June the 25th in my mind in 2025, thank you, and you happen to be in a 4 personal year. Shucks, you could be in a master number 22 year. Let me see something right quick. Okay, so that's 625, 2025, that's 16. Nope, it's 13-4. You're in a 4 personal year. So this is a year to get it together. This is a year to have a sense of order and purpose and direction, to focus. This is a sense where it's a waste not, want not, lend not, borrow not. This is anytime you're in a 4, 4 is about efficiency and practicality and common sense, in a sense that pay yourself first. You know, and they'll tell you, those who deal in finances, insurance, and stuff like that, the rule is pay yourself first. No, we're accustomed, as soon as we get that check, we got to pay the rent, we got to pay gas, we got to pay. Now, it's not that they don't get paid. It's now shifting your priorities. And the year that you're in right now says you are first and foremost too, okay? And you should make yourself priority number 1. Then everybody else will get paid. The rent, the electricity, car notes, whatever you got. You know, everybody got something going on if you're an adult up in this planet. I'm telling you. So whatever it is, make sure that and if you must lend some money, since it's a lend not, borrow not cycle, only lend to those that have a proven record of paying you back. Do you know how many people borrow money from each of us? And they know you ain't gonna get it back, okay? So in your case, if you must, okay, then do it for those who have been honorable to you. That if you gave them $100 and they gave it back, okay, good. But if they gave you $100 and never gave it, if you gave them $100, never give it back, tell them to go borrow that money that they got, and that'll get them straight. But anyway, thank you. Your key numbers, daughter, 7, 2, and 6, and Mondays and Fridays are your best days. I got a little carried away there a second. And see, like I told Marla, see, she says, I'm very young and no one believes my age. This is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. This is why I'm saying she was born on December the 21st of 61. Don't let the year fool you. It is the attitude. And yes, I would believe that's why I said she would either she either don't look her age, act her age, or feel her age. And it sounds like she says, I'm very young and no one believes my age, which means she's probably got a young man somewhere, which ain't nobody's business, okay? You know what I'm saying, Marla? Anyway, so let me go on and see. All right. So everybody, I do want to, thank you. Okay, hold on. She says, so far, so true. You're so on point. I lost 70 pounds. I look better now than I did 30 years ago. Thank you so much for the reading. I shade to you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're very welcome. All of us are divinely special. Is what we do or don't do with our specialness. But they got us into pity parties. And I'm telling you, have you ever noticed nobody like to go to pity parties? Okay. I don't. I've been to pity parties. I used to have big ones one time, but I got that straight. Anyway, this is Aubrey, an Aries 8 person. Their numbers are the 8, 9, and 6. Okay, in that order. This is a very powerful combination of people born on this day, from Diana Ross to I think William Shatner is born on this day. Teddy Pendergrass. A lot of people are born on this day. But the other numbers tell me, Aubrey, you are a mover and shaker. And this year you happen to be in a, you happen to be in a 2 personal year. It's either a 2 or an 11. So if you're in a 2 cycle, let me do something again. Because there's a way I find out if you're in an 11 or 2. Let's see, 26, 20, 25, okay. So You happen to be in the 11 personal year, so there's a big difference this year. This is a year to go with your sights raised, your consciousness elevated, your intentions at a higher level in terms of what you plan to do. Okay. You know, when you add the month, the day, and the year, you know, these numbers from 1 to 9 indicate symbolically what grade you're in. But because hers adds to a master number 11 for this year, and this year favors Aries, which is her sign, this is year her where she's earning her master's degree. So elevate your sights, elevate your spirits, elevate your consciousness. And because of the fact that this is now June, there should be some financial things going on this month, okay, to be very honest with you, as well as July. Although July is normally one of your challenging months, in July, you will be in a 9 personal month, which is one of your numbers. So this year, this month of June, 6, you're in a 2 person. I'll keep it simple. 1 and 1 is 2. 2 plus 6 is 8. That's June. So since you're born on the 26th, it's an 8, and this is an 8 personal month you're in. This year, you should be rocking and rolling. And in fact, there's some things that should be happening to you around the 8th through the 14th, just about a week and a half ago, to be honest with you. All righty. But this is your month to take charge. And next month indicates a trip of some kind, or bringing things to a head where you say enough is enough and someone or something has got to go. Okay. But your numbers are the 8, 9, and 6. And you will always attract much older persons in your life. Although when you were younger, and it does suggest you may have been raised by a third party, like your mom and dad was there, yes, but it was more your grandmother that was an influence, your auntie that was an influence, or uncle so-and-so that was an influence, in addition to your mom and dad, all right? But your numbers are the 8, 9, and 6, and your best days are always on a Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday. 8, 9, and 6. No. Saturday, Tuesday, and Friday. Friday, because 3 was a Thursday. Okay, good. All right. Okay, good. Okay. I'm gonna take a couple of more. And this is Nadez, a Virgo. That's interesting. First time live. Thank you very much for joining Live with Lloyd family. You happen to be a Virgo 3 person, which means you're earth sign with a 5 number, which means very practical, yet very fiery, very determined to succeed. Okay. Old when you were young, and young as you get older. Okay. And I'm willing to bet you that younger men have definitely approached you. Okay. And no, they're not trying to be your mother. I try to explain this to women who attract younger men. We men know our mother from not our mother. Okay. Believe me. So anyway, you happen to be in a 3 personal year, which is in alignment with your birthday, which is a 3. So this is your year to grow, to improve, to expand. It's a Jupiter cycle, which is called the cycle of good luck and prosperity. So look for some blessings to come your way. Avoid people that want to get into gossips and scandals and all that scheming and all that stuff. Let them deal with that. It is not in your best interest to do that. But if you've been working on a new and improved you, especially back in March when you made the attempt, did something with your hair, nails, whatever you ladies do to look gorgeous for us, okay? That's one thing. But then again, I'm looking at the fact that now this month of June, you're in a 9 personal month, which is a month to wrap things up. And June is one of those challenging months. So stay away from people that want to kind of fuss, fight, and argue. But the best week of this month has been the week of the 15th through the 21st, which we're in right now, up until Saturday, okay? So your numbers again are the 3, 6, and 5, and your best days are Thursdays, Fridays, and Wednesday in that order. And the best of luck. And thanks for joining for the first time. Okay. For me, she, her, I checked the app. She enjoys it. Thank you very much for joining the app. Their government name is Dorothea Robinson. Okay, you got a lot of 7s in your name, which tells me you like to be your own best company. You really, really do. Very independent minded, never run out of questions. If I was invited to your home, I'd expect to find a lot of books, magazines, something that shows I'm dealing with a very intelligent and well-read individual. Your birthday indicates you've always been very attractive in your own way. You're an Aries 6 person, and it tells me you would have done well in the creative arts. So if you grew up and you had thoughts of being a singer or a dancer or an actress or going into the arts of painting and musicianship, that would not surprise me at all. But it also indicates you do well in real estate and banking and law and working for the government. It also indicates you do well in service, like a nurse or teacher, professor, counselor, social worker, things of that nature too. And it also indicates you read a person like a book, so I wouldn't mess with you. I mean, they could, but they get their feelings hurt. And you got a strong sense of right and wrong and justice too. But your numbers are always the 6, the 9, and the 3. And your best days are always, without exceptions, on a Friday, followed by a Tuesday, followed by a Thursday. Okay. So I'm spilling over time. Let me see if anybody had made a donation because I don't want to leave them out. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad I read you. Okay, so you see your numbers are the 3, 6, and 5 in your best days. If I didn't say it, it's always on a Thursday first, a Friday second, and a Wednesday third. Okay. I've been seeing my birthday a lot for the consider it a good time, but you are in an expansive cycle this year, Nadez. That you are. This is a cycle to grow and improve and think of abundance because you're going through a Jupiter phase, and that is the major cycle that an astrologer will look for. What house is Jupiter being placed at around the wheel? And your personal year is a 3, and you're born on the 3rd. Listen, I'll put it like this. If you don't do it this year, you're going to have to wait until the year 2042 to do it. I don't see where you got to wait. No. I got you way up in the future. You would have to wait the year to 2034. That's what you'd have to wait for. So if you blow this one, which you should not blow because you're only 6 months into the year, you got 6 more months to go, plus a couple of days in this one, that this is your year to grow and expand. All the best to you too. Okay. I want to make sure that if anybody else made a donation, I do want to thank you. And let me say, sometimes at the end of the show, let me tell you how I operate. My buddy King Simon, the way I operate is because I'll get so many, only after the show, then I get a chance to really see all the people. For those of you who donate, I try to make sure that the next day I acknowledge it. Like, see this person here, Tasha? Thank you so much for the donation. So I don't want, and I do have a rule. If I don't call you, don't, and you're sensitive about, I gave you money and you didn't read me, then don't do it. Only if you're going to donate, do it only after I read you. Because I don't want you to be in your feelings. I've got enough challenges on this end, trying to make sure I don't knock us off the end, all that other stuff. Okay, anyway, just quickly, she is a master number 11, born the same day as Alex Haley, who founded Roots, Jose Silva, that founded Silver Mind Control, and a couple other famous people of note, of course, Tasha Home herself. It indicates that this is your year to stand tall. You're in a one personal year that governs the sign of Leo. This is your year without question. And not only that, you're blessed with 4 numbers rather than 2. Your key numbers are the 2, 7, 1, and 4 in that order. 2, 7, 1, and 4 in that order. So this is a time to step out on faith, to do things on your own. And in fact, new opportunities should be starting your way too. And don't forget, this is a society where we get so caught up in the age. Well, I'm this age, I'm born this year. It's never too late to learn. It's never too late to grow. What it is the attitude. And so this is why I would tell my viewers, my family, is you think for yourself or somebody will do your thinking for you. And it doesn't take away from anybody else. It's not that you don't listen to people, but you should also listen to your first mind. That's why God gave us a brain, okay? The point is, do we use it or don't use it? But anyway, those are your numbers. It indicates you have a sensitive stomach too, okay? Let me see something. All right, let's see. I want to make sure, and I got to thank Empress Rel for just staying on with me a little bit. If you know what, okay, I'm glad I went a little further. This is Brandon. Okay, Brandon, you think you're the greatest thing since ice cream, buddy. Okay, square business. Don't, like, you're a 5 sign with a 5 number. Okay, that means passionate, very determined. And because this is the year of the 9, and you're born on a 9, and you're in an 8 personal year, I know that you're doing some big things. And if you look at the birthday, look at those 8s. So it tells me you've always been mature. So it tells me you probably like older women, or was introduced to Sex 101, which is none of my business, to older women, okay? If you find them more attractive to you, that would make sense. Or if you find them, you may say, well, Lord, I don't like dealing with older women, but they be hitting on a brother, okay? That would not surprise me. because you got all those maturity numbers running through your birthday. Okay. But at the same time, it tells me you are in a position and your birthday indicates you do not take orders well. If you take orders, sir, you are not happy. That I can predict. No question about it. So it tells me either own your own business, a manager, supervisor, director, head of a department, whatever the case is. But your key numbers are the 9, the 1, and the 4. And your best days are always on a Tuesday and a Sunday, more than any other day. You got a Cancer moon, so that means mentally you're sensitive. You got a Scorpio rising, which means your appearances makes you kind of attractive. And 9 rules the sign of Scorpio, and it rules Aries. So I think it's very, very interesting. But those are your numbers, the 9, 1, and 4. Okay. 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 So I think that's it, everybody. I don't think I have any more. If somebody made a donation that I missed, I will certainly acknowledge it on Monday. There's no question. But in the meantime, no, I will acknowledge it on Wednesday. Jazz Aphrodite will be sitting in for me on Monday. Okay. Let's see. Marla, who was born in 1961, says she gets along best with 50-year-olds. They're younger, but it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Y'all should take my course. I'm going to be offering a course in the latter part of August. It's a 5-week course. You'll get a certificate of completion, and I'll show you how to do this. In July, which I'll show a fly next week, I'm going to be teaching a palmistry class. I really enjoyed it. The group really enjoyed it too. How to read your hands. Hands tell a lot about people. Okay. You'd be surprised that yes, these hands are the servant of the brain and the mind and all this stuff. But the hands tell you more than what is let on. So anyway, okay. So anyway, I will kind of answer some of your questions later, but I think I'm going to have to get off. I'm running over and I have to respect, I do have to respect this. Oh, see, this is Queen Najwa 777. They're born on July 13th. I'm having relationship trouble, and I was forced into another job, not by choice. Well, that's because this year you happen to be in a 2 personal year. Mentally, I'm doing all this quickly, which means that you have entered for this year a period of what is called uncertainty, where things are iffy or up in the air. And I would say that it was probably when things ended, it was probably because you're in a 2. So I'm looking at the fact that actually things just happening for next month too, going into it. But you like to be different. You tend to be misunderstood. So I would say from your birthday, Queen, it has not been easy being you with this particular birthday. Not that you could not do well and have your place, but the tendency is to be more misunderstood than understood. So, you have those kind of birthdays. You know how the more you try to impress people, the worse it gets? Just be yourself. To know you, Queen, is to love you, Queen. Just that simple. And you'll find, but you do like to be different. You're odd and unusual. You're not the normal kind of person that most people see. But that's what makes you distinct. That's what makes you stand out. And you should use that to your advantage. And you have a sensitive soul too. Okay, but your key numbers are the 4, 1, 2, and 7. This is about the 4 person with 4 numbers. Okay, 4, 1, 2, and 7. Okay, thanks for the donation. Okay. And Tanya, wow, thanks so much, Tanya Thomas. February the 24th. I'm so glad I checked. You happen to be a Pisces 6 person, okay? So that means your key numbers are the 6, the 3, and the 9. This is called the artistic core, which means you would have a gift along the arts if you pursued that, whether acting, theater, dance, drama, fashion, painting, musicianship, whatever the case is, anything. Now, you may say, well, Lloyd, I don't do any of those things, but I'm willing to bet you if I came in your home, there'd be art on the walls or something that shows there's classes in your home. You probably got music from all different genres, from jazz to hip hop to reggae to classics. You know what I'm saying? That you would cross it. You would be a patron of the arts. You would go to concerts and things like that. And you would also find from your birthday that influential women will always be of help to you in some way, shape, or form, whether it's your mother, a sister, an aunt, a grandmother. Men will too. Men will definitely help you. There's no question. but the major focus will always be on a woman. There will be a direction to give you that kind of focus. And you got a very strong sense of right and wrong and justice. And you know how to read a person like a book, which is how my Live from LLoyd series, my first Live from LLoyd series, How to Read a Person Like a Book, which is now on sale, by the way. Those series, if you go to Linktree/numbers and you can sign up for them. I think today is the last day of the sale. I forgot to mention that. There's so much going on. But anyway, it tells me you can be very stubborn, and in almost everything you like, you don't have the money to get. Okay. And I jokingly say with 6 women, period, whether 6th to 15th or the 24th, like you, at times there's other hands, Tanya, you can be so stingy, you can squeeze the brown off the penny. But if it's something you want, you will figure out how you're going to get it. Okay. And so your numbers again are the 6, the 3, and the 9. And your best days are always on a Friday first, a Thursday, and a Tuesday, working backwards. Okay. Have a blessed day. And sinuses too. Sinuses, allergies, things of that nature. Thanks so much for the donation. Much, much appreciated. Okay. Okay. I think that's it. I'm going to have to get off here before. Okay. 5:10. Here's what I'm going to do. In respect to my Empress Rel's time and your time, I'm going to make a note of this, and I'm going to read this on Wednesday. Okay? I promise you. But I'll say this. You are a Taurus. Your lady is an Aries. So I'm looking at signs that have horns. So that means when you lock horns, that's something else. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And you can be very stubborn and controlling. And your girlfriend, she's not having it, man. I'm sure you probably found that. I don't know how long y'all been dealing, but she'll probably say, that's it. So anyway, you show her respect, she show you respect, and I would say that way y'all should be nice and even, okay? Okay, so anyway, I want to thank you for that. But your numbers, by the way, sir, are the 1, 4, and 9. Your lady's number is the 8, 9, and 6. So what y'all have in common is the number 9. You need to get together on the same page. It's always on a Tuesday. Tuesday is a common day that works between the both of you, and especially in the months of April or November. So you may have started dating her or met her between late March into April or between late October into November. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I think that is really, really it. So I don't have to read it on Monday. Okay, I got that straight. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. Let me give the sponsors, please. Starting with Nicholas Brooklyn at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, New York City. They're having a very special event this weekend, Saturday. I'm going to try to make it if I can. I can't promise. It's kind of a busy weekend coming up. But they're going to have a summer solstice, a day of wellness at 1396 Fulton Street. Also early that morning at 9 a.m., they start a Sky's the Limit big mile marathon. Okay, invite the family. You see that there's a guy with a baby in strollers. The sister on the right, she's got her daughter. So I guess bring out your children too, because if they can run, it ain't that hard. So please join us, Nicholas Brooklyn at 1396 Fulton Street. Also, U-Juice, and in fact, I'm going to have the creator of U-Juice, who's just written a book about how to find the soul. Okay, it's going to be good. I'm going to have him on Monday on June the 30th. His name is Uchenna Hackett. Okay, he's my good buddy. Then also Queen Bee, she's going to have a very special show tomorrow because it's June 19th. She's going to have astronumerologist on with her. So please make sure that you go to her website, all righty, and do that. Okay, let me see something here. Okay, how did I do that? Okay, there we go. So that's where you go. Just go to YouTube Numeralytics, and she is offering a summer sale. Okay, $50 off, which includes your key chart, in-depth write-up. She's very, very detailed. She's very good. 1-hour video. Please support her in that way. Also, my good buddy King Simon, I was on his show, and I thank him again. We always have a lot of fun when I'm on. And he brought a lot of things I forgot. I've been doing this a long time, but I don't try to keep records in that way. It's just I keep moving forward. But anyway, that's my energy. So he has a part 1 this month, part 2 next month, part part 3 in August. So if you want to be part of this exclusive Anatomy of a Numerovation, please go to patreon.com/King Simon Productions, all right? And Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly, that does weekly wisdom, astronumerology reveal, and she's also added another dimension to her line of services, which is for those interested in starting a business. She will give you a complimentary consultation. Complimentary. Just go to Kimberly, KIMBALEY.com. Just reach out, schedule an appointment, talk about your business. Now, you ain't going to be talking forever now. It ain't that kind of conversation. You just keep it short, sweet, to the point, but she will guide you in what you need to know in terms of a business from a numerical perspective. And also Jazz Aphrodite, who is establishing a numerology mastery institute on August the 10th. She will be she will be in Monday. I'm sure she'll be talking about it. And also, then again, for those celebrating Juneteenth tomorrow, have a nice time. Enjoy yourselves. Be careful. Try not to get too carried away other than in celebration, but remind our children, our ancestors, how important we are. And this is a free monthly newsletter for June. We don't sell your mailing list. And at the bottom of each of the readings, you'll see a link that will also take you to the video portion of the reading we do with Miss Kimberly and myself, okay? So I think that's it. All right, okay, I think that's it. Everybody, I want to thank you. This was fun. Thank you for staying with me so long. Y'all have a nice day. Take good care. Until then, all righty. And again, Jazz Aphrodite will be sitting in for me this Monday on the 23rd. Okay. Y'all have a nice day. Bye.